Hey, this is Maginoni, and I thought we could do a little Marvel versus DC. Which comics that I got turned out to be better for the week. So let's start off with Superman number 10. I really enjoyed this book a lot. This was basically, you had, Superboy, he's kind of like doing his own thing. Damian comes, kidnaps him, and he wants to run tests on him because, it's one of those things where you can't trust an alien type thing. And Damian just being, Damian. And this was actually a really good book. It was a good way that these two characters were introduced to each other. It's exactly what you would imagine Damian to do. Then you have Superman coming in going, where's my son? Overall, this was actually a really, really great, fun read. Art was okay. Story was good. Basically, I had really no complaints with this book. So far, Superman's just been on track and they've been doing an excellent job with that. Okay, Justice League number 8. This is one of those books that I kind of go, why am I still reading this? The Batcave gets hacked yet again. And basically, there's something inside Cyborg, and it's like taking over the Watchtower, it's taking over the Batcave, and it's just causing massive chaos and pandemonia. It's doing the boom tubes, and it's just like, I don't know. To me, it's just, it really wasn't that interesting anymore. I don't mean, while I understand that Hitch's sales have been pretty strong, because let's be honest, it's the Justice League. A child could write this book and it'd still be a top 10 seller as long as you have key people in there like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman type thing. But overall, I have to say, it's just boring. It doesn't have a lot of oomph to it. Every time he's brought in these world-killing villains, they haven't been interesting. The books, the only time that you might have had a potentially interesting villain, you had a delay after delay, and it seems like a lot of his stories might be might be even rushed, just because there's a lot of feeling of, at least I feel, incompleteness to the build-up and the resolution, and the motivation even in some cases. Overall, I have to admit, I'm just not happy with Justice League at all. And I think it's almost time to cancel this one. I'll think about it for next month. And next up is Midnighter and Apollo. Now, from the last issue, Apollo's dead. Midnighter's on a little rampage to, vent out his frustrations. He wants Apollo back. And in this issue, we find out where Apollo's soul is. So Midnighter's going to go after it. And to me, this is another book where I was really, really looking forward to it. I think at times the art just isn't very good. Especially for example, these pages here, panels, this stuff here. While this was this touching moment type thing, I think that the artwork could have been a lot better. And I'm just finding the story just kind of uninspiring. It's it's basically, what do you do when you have the most powerful superhero in a sense and the most lethal superhero? Oh, you kill the main guy, the big guy, so this way it depowers everything and brings everything down to a normal level. And then you start your story from there. And it's I just don't think that this is, to me at least, I've seen stories like this time and time again. We've all seen stories like this, where the hero has to go to hell to save his, he or she has to save his loved one. Hell, Spawn just did that just a year or so ago. So it's just come on, you guys are paid the bucks. You have a job that, so many people want, and you're just giving us shit stories. So, I'm done with Apollo Midnighter. A Midnighter Apollo. The story is crap, uninspiring. Art is lower than average, and I just can't stomach it any longer. And it's a sad thing because I really do like these characters. Because it's basically taking the Batman Superman characters to the extremes. And like I said, I really do like Midnighter. I really do like Apollo, even though they don't really use them that much. But they were so much better in whatchamacallit, not in the Authority. This is just horrible. Shade the Changing Girl. This is another one I thought had a really strong first impression, and I don't know. It's just, to me, it's like I've just like lost all interest in it. Now, I mean, I have a feeling critics are just gonna love this book, but you have this character who's got the madness fest, and you can see where, I mean, maybe her facial expressions, her body language is odd. Things are odd around her, but it's kind of like, you're calling, like, people are calling this thing the most dangerous thing in the universe. And yet, it's kind of like you're not even really taking full advantage of the madness that is the vest. It's like you're not dialing it up to 12. You're basically doing it, this is a young animal, so it is great in mature readers, but because we say young, we can't really make it too crazy. So it's like a 5 on the crazy scale, maybe a 4, And I'm like, I don't think this is another book where I don't think that they're challenging themselves nearly enough for me at least, to want to continue to read this book, because I'm telling you, I really like. This is another one I really enjoyed the first issue. I thought it was interesting, and it's just been a letdown. This issue just went enthusiasm, just went dead. All right, Batman, number 10. Now, this is another one I'll say that the issues had a great start, and Batman's been on a roll, and this one just took a slight hit. It's even to the point where it's like, Batman's sacrifice. Basically, he's trying to get Psycho Pirate, and he's got to go through Bane, and everything. To me, it's like he's the world's greatest detective. He can do so much, but yet it's like his plan is to attack Bane head on, and then take massive amounts of damage, and then work with Catwoman to find the Psycho Pirate. I'm just like, oh my god. I don't know. To me, I'm thinking with Batman and Catwoman, you would think that they would be able to find a better way to get into this prison. And even here, you have Bane, in a sense, breaking Batman's back. And, Batman's back is not broken. Then you go a little bit deeper into the thing. They drop him into this little pit-like thing, filling with water. Batman tries to get out. And, again, he does this thing that's kind of like breaking his back. But I'm like, dude, your back, it can't be doing this. But then at the end of this whole thing, he's like, oh, my back is really good right now. And I'm like, this is bullshit, So, again, this just took a step down a little bit. I'm still going to get it, but the next one, but I just think that this one, in terms of the quality, just wasn't as strong as the others. Alright, let's get on to Champions. Now, one thing I'm going to say is this. I mean, for the longest time for Marvel and DC books, you never really had word balloons. Most of the covers have been like this. And I'm really starting to enjoy blurbs on them. And I hope this trend continues. Maybe not in every book, but on, random books here and there. Basically, this is a issue where all the heroes, they go camping so they can bond and, get to know each other better. And Cyclops basically asked to join the team. Now, this is another one where I'm going to say that, while the story was interesting, it, to me, lost so much momentum that the first issue was like, out of the canon, let's get started. And the second issue is like, okay, now that we joined, and what are we supposed to do? Oh, I don't know, let's tell ghost stories. Let's tell each other about our superpowers. And, granted, I can see why this issue was needed, just in the sense that if I wasn't buying Miss Marvel or Spider Man or Vision, you know, I can get an idea of who these characters are now. So I understand how and why this had to happen, but to me, from my point of view, who knows who all these characters are, I'm just like, okay, come on, let's keep the story moving. Now the last page showed a little promise, where things started to pick up, but again, it's like, for me, it was a little too late. Maybe there's a little bit of humor in here, but to me, it wasn't enough, which is a shame. Okay, Unworthy Thor #1. Now, Thor doesn't have his hammer any longer. He basically is kind of like lost. And he's got a goat that he travels with, and he is on a quest to find a new hammer. He's basically told by, I'll just say, a cosmic being who's replacing the Watcher. And this person knows a lot about what's been going on recently. And he basically gives Thor the clue, hey, another hammer, go get it. So, the story kicks off from there. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing this. Aaron did a great job. Art was great. This was my... I'll say this is my third favorite book. Superman was my second. Thor was my third. But my favorite was Spider-Woman #13. This was a great read. I mean, it had a great, fun story part where you had Spider-Woman fighting Blizzard. Just the attitude of Blizzard, the look that Jessica's giving him. He's got banana peel on his head. It's just like, how low could you sink to get beaten by not even a top-tier superhero, but you get beaten with garbage on you. But that's not where it gets good. Where it really gets good is as it goes into the story, Porcupine, he basically goes to see his boss, the crime boss, because he wants to cut ties from the, the evil empire, criminal element. And that's where it got really good. And it got good really quickly. So that just... it was like I was enjoying it, and then something really big happens, and I won't spoil it for those people who haven't read it, but it was kind of surprising because I don't read I already know I'm going to read Spider-Woman, so I don't read a lot of the advanced blurbs about it. So that was, to me, a complete surprise. Great story, really enjoying it. This was definitely my favorite book of the week. And, I highly recommend picking up Spider-Woman. This is definitely, I guess you can say, it's a jumping on period, for sure. Anyways, if you have any comments or questions, let me know. Share. We'll have some more stuff later. Let me know what you guys liked, didn't like, and we'll have some more stuff later. So until next time.